Hare Krishna. There is snacks upstairs. Whoever wants to take a break and have snacks. Garam garam samosa before it gets cold.
Do I get to go up? Or
Yes, you can go up. Yeah.
I have to stay.
You can go up and come back.
We are allowed to eat down here, right? We can eat down here too. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
to put it down anyways now. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna. So we are going to sing a Vaishnava bhajan now. If you have a smartphone, you can get the words. It's one of the favorite bhajan for Srila Prabhupada. You know which one the favorite one for Srila Prabhupada? Any guess? Huh? Not that one. Hari Hari Vifale Janam Gonayanu. That is one of the favorite bhajan of Srila Prabhupada. So we are going to sing. So you can search on the Google.
KK song.
Yeah, it's on a KK song. It goes like Hari Hari Vifale Janam Gonayanu. Manava Janam Paila.
Manusha Janam. Hari Hari Bifala Janam Gonayanu. Hari Hari Bifala Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, जय राधा शरद बिहारी राधा शरद बिहारी जय राधा शरण बिहारी राधा शरण बिहारी जय राधा शरण बिहारी राधा शरण
Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Privajikacharya, the storyteller Satya Shishi Mother's Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Privajikacharya, the storyteller Satya Shishi Mother's Divine Grace, Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Goti Vaishnavini Ki. Namacharya Brahmacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki. ISKCON Founder Charya Shri Prabhupada Ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrind Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Dham Ki. Mathura Dham Ki. Navadvip Dham Ki. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki. Jagannath Swami Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Jamuna Mai Ki. Tulsi Devi Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the Lord's feet of Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga.
No, that we do later. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Please have a seat. Please seat. Our program now is, we are going to have a short lecture by His Grace Parikshit Prabhu for about 20 minutes, Prabhu. Okay. And we stop at 7:45. Then we will have Arati upstairs for with our deities Sri Sri Radha Gokulananda. And then we come back downstairs in the basement and we will have prasadam at 8 o'clock. So that's the plan. So please want to take a minute to thank all of you for coming and blessing us with your esteemed presence. We have people from all the tri-state, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York City, and I have my niece coming from Dallas, Texas. So, so thank you all for coming, and it's very cold outside, but thank you for your association. It's warm. With the kirtan, we can warm up our souls too, hopefully. So, many of you have seen His Grace Parikshit Prabhu. You can come forward. I don't know why we have this gap here. People are very struggling to sit there. Please come forward. So it's very comfortable, and please come forward. And we have plenty of space here too. So we have seen His Grace Parikshit Prabhu in our ISKCON Philadelphia on many Sundays. So here is he was born in Ghana, West Africa, and like many people in the room, he is a chemist. He did his PhD in organic photochemistry from Brandeis University. He joined ISKCON in 1991 in Washington, D.C. How many of you know His Holiness Bhaktitirtha Swami? So he is a disciple of His Holiness Bhaktitirtha Swami, who left his body in a very untimely way. He is an amazing, amazing devotee and a Princeton graduate. You know that? So Parikshit Prabhu got his first and second initiation in June of 94 and 96 respectively, and he and his wife Anasuya Devidasi were personal servants of Bhaktitirtha Swami, His Holiness Bhaktitirtha Swami, and lived with him for 3 years. So they are very special, having associated with such an amazing soul. If any of you have read or seen Bhaktitirtha Swami, it's hard to forget his potency, charisma. Parikshit Prabhu is also an accomplished musician, and he has 3 Krishna records to his credit. And he is a retired chemistry professor from Penn State University. How many of you knew that? And he currently is a spiritual advisor at ISKCON Harrisburg, where his wife is the temple president. So it's a family affair. So he has also started Bhakti Vriksha in his home in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, and Prabhu drove 2.5 hours to grace us with his presence today. He had done many teleconference programs. So let's give a big Philadelphia Haribol, 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 Haribol. Thank you, Prabhu.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Jaya Radha Sharad Bihari Radha Sharad Bihari Ji Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Ji Radhe. Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada. Anytime go, Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Anytime go to Haribo. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivajikacharya Stotara Satya Shishimada Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivajikacharya Stotara Satya Shishimada Divine Grace Shri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Ananti Gud Ashna Bindi Ki. Mantra Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Ki. Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Hare Krishna. So it's wonderful to have devotees gather like this. Nice program. Wonderful kirtan. Seem to get better and better and better. Devotees got into it even more. So when I was asked to come serve here, I asked Jagannath Chandra Prabhu what he would like for me to speak about. So he gave an idea. So the title is Creating Harmony and Cooperation Among Devotees. It's a given in the spiritual world. It's like that. There is harmony and cooperation among the devotees. Here we're trying to learn how to get there. But in the perfectional stage, that is just normal life in the spiritual world. It's like that. There is no competition, there's cooperation. Sometimes there are competitive games, but Krishna always sets it up so that when the two sides that compete, one side wins, and then they do it again, and the other side wins. So it doesn't really matter. The scores don't matter. It's just the game itself that's fun. Here in this material world, especially in the professional sports, there are championships. And one team goes home very happy, and the other team, they're crying. Big old grown men crying because they lost. So anyway, so to create harmony and cooperation, we chose Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, and text 8. Actually, Bhagavad Gita text 8 and 12 are together. And those are qualities that a devotee is supposed to have. You got to have the qualities without you can cooperate. You got to have a qualities so you can cooperate. You just can't cooperate without knowing what is it that you got to do and what you're supposed to be like to cooperate. So the qualities is where it starts. Now, 8 through 12 is 5 texts. And they give you, what, 20 minutes? All right. So we'll just try for 8 alone. 8 alone. So 8, the Sanskrit is, why don't we do the Sanskrit together? Let's just do word for word, because, so just repeat after me. Amanidvam, humility. Adambidvam, pridelessness. Ahimsa, non-violence. Shantihi, tolerance. Ajavam, simplicity. Acharya upasanam, approaching a bona fide spiritual master. Shocham, cleanliness. Stairyam, steadfastness. Atma vinigraha, self-control. The translation by Srila Prabhupada. Self-control. So these are part of what Krishna declares to be knowledge. There's more, obviously there's 4 more texts that we didn't talk about. But all the 5, Krishna says that's knowledge. And outside of that, whatever they may be is ignorance. So there, obviously we didn't go through all of them. But interestingly enough, Krishna says these are qualities that a person is supposed to develop. Humility, pridelessness, qualities it's supposed to develop. But Krishna says that's knowledge. Knowledge means something we have to know. Well, we have to know to develop these qualities. That's why Krishna says it's knowledge. You have to know that if you don't develop these qualities, then according to Krishna, you're in the mode of ignorance. If I don't develop these qualities, I'm in the mode of ignorance. So the purport, as you may well imagine, is quite long. But we'll just, by Krishna's mercy, your permission, my Guru Maharaj's guidance, Srila Prabhupada's guidance, we'll touch on as many of these as 20 minutes will allow us to do. So, first, and we won't take them in the order necessarily that's here, because I know Acharya Chutam is approaching a bona fide spiritual master. But let's start with that. Transcendental life begins when one accepts a bona fide spiritual master. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. Transcendental life starts when one accepts a bona fide spiritual master. So you can get into the mood of devotion. If you gave an analogy, like say if you went to an amusement park, would you feel the vibes, the fun that people are trying to have, even though it's here in the material world, but still, people want to go there to have fun. So a person that has a spiritual master, and we'll talk about it in a little detail, has a spiritual master, that person has been admitted and is in the park. And the person that's not accepted as a bona fide spiritual master is in like where the gate is, but they haven't won the ticket yet. You still have the same feel, right? But you're not really in it. Now, so some people will say, well, I'm not initiated, therefore, well, let's talk about initiation. So I'll tell a story. This is part of Srila Prabhupada's life. So he was managing at Allahabad, Dr. Bose's business, the section of it that he became the manager. He was a pharmacist, by the way. Last life he was a medical doctor. Maybe, I don't know whether you know that he came one time and then came again. So he was a medical doctor. He told the close devotees, it's not written, but we find out these kind of things. So he had been a spiritual master before. Then he came this time for the whole world. Yeah. So anyway, so that's it about He was young at that time. And so one day, just like normal days, people are coming, getting medicines and so on in the pharmacy. And one of his employees came and said, there are some 3 devotees here to see you. One of them is a sannyasi. He said, Babu just thought, well, if they come to pharmacy, Babu came for treatment. That's what he thought about. And they said, no, he didn't come for treatment. You need to go see them. So he stopped where they saw them. One sannyasi, 2 brahmacharis. So you can imagine all of them in saffron. And Srila Prabhupada was immediately happy to see them, but he also wanted to know why they had come. So he found out he was wrong. They had come to his neck of the woods to build a temple, and they were going around asking the prominent people for donations to build the temple. That's why they went to see Abhay Babu, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was all too happy to oblige. But then he saw the sannyasi and he wondered about him. He said, so, Prabhu, are you a disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj? That is who became. And the sannyasi said, no. Actually, I'm a disciple of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Which actually blew up everybody's mind. Oh, Bhakti Vinod Thakur is a disciple. So then he introduced the other brahmacharis. And so since he brought up, Abhay Babu brought up Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj's name, now the sannyas asked him, is that your spiritual master? Now at that time, Srila Prabhupada had not been initiated. Okay. So he said, actually he's not, but in my heart I've accepted him. He's going to be my spiritual master. It's only a matter of time. I'm kind of paraphrasing. But what the sannyas replied, he said, that's the most important thing. So this whole story is to tell you that if you have someone in mind that you want to connect to, by the transcendental system, you are already connected. So the initiation ceremony itself, it's important because that's what rubber stamps, right? And it's not easy, it's not a light thing to say rubber stamps, but don't take it lightly because you're bowing in front of the deities, the devotees, the spiritual master, Agni Dev, they're all hearing what you're saying you're going to do. So it's important, but the connection is a heart connection between the disciple and the guru. So if you already are interested in particular guru, you are unofficially initiated. You are unofficially, because you don't have a name ending with Das or Dasi yet. But that will come. That will come. So we wanted to put that out there. So this is initiation part and the connection with the spiritual master. It's very important that we look at initiation or connect with someone seriously. How does that happen? Well, if we take the process of bhakti seriously, serve with our hearts. When we serve with our hearts, so this is all about emotions. You really can't do anything for Krishna. What does he not have? The only thing you can do is give your heart to him. He's giving you that independence. You may give your heart or you may not. There's a whole bunch of people in this world now, the overwhelming majority, don't even want to call Krishna God. Much less give their hearts to Krishna. So very few people now are devotees, and that's all of you and more, right, that are saying yes to Krishna. Very, very important that not just to say yes to Krishna, but here comes the things that you got to do in order to create harmony. Well, let's put it this way. We are practicing devotional service because that's the normal lifestyle for those in the spiritual world. We have to be able to fit in with those who are there. I'll tell you why he said that. Special tribes that are going to be given a chance, if we take this process seriously, to go back to the spiritual world. Let's just face it. Srila Prabhupada has given made so many changes to allow us to go. The first one, I'm not taking it in any particular order, but the first one that comes to mind is chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Simple question. When a devotee gets initiated, how many rounds does he or she vow to chant every day? 16. There's an English word after that. Minimum. Good. 16 minimum. Now, how many rounds is a Vaishnava supposed to chant? I'm not saying what we do. Well, how many rounds is a Vaishnava supposed to chant? 64. Yeah, talk about it. We're supposed to, now you know why we're special, right? We have been given a huge break. Now, 16 rounds happens to be 1/4 of 64 rounds. So the other day in Baltimore, 1/4 is 25%. We're talking about it. If you go to school and do a course and do an exam and you get 25%, you know what grade they give you?
Failure.
F. So we are F students, F, being allowed to pass. So the Prabhupada is passing us at 25%. So if you really don't want to do 25%, you want to wait till it goes back to 100% later on in Kali Yuga when things are worse. That's when you want to turn 64 rounds and go, what's wrong with you? So this is a huge break that we got. Not only that, according to Vaishnav etiquette, Vaishnav do's and don'ts, women even don't get initiated. Did you know that? You have to marry, your husband gets initiated, he makes you to the spiritual world, and you follow. So Papa cut all of that. Whether you marry or not, it doesn't matter. You can have your own spiritual bank account on you alone. Now, the other day I was listening to, and I listened to a lot of Srila Prabhupada's lectures, and the ones that I like the most are the morning walks. You see, when he goes to the devotees throw any and everything at him. You just hear all kinds of things, whatever think of, they come up. Anything from the moon and this, and the scientists are saying that and all that. Srila Prabhupada puts all that in perspective. So those are my favorite ones, even though I do listen to the regular lecture also. So, one devotee asked him, Srila Prabhupada, so if, say, a person is married, but their spouse is not a devotee, what happens to that person in the marriage? So this devotee is thinking there's going to be complications because maybe there's some do's and don'ts, and the other one that's not a devotee is not going to want to do it, and so on. So the Prabhupada says, it doesn't matter. He said it's an individual account. So even if you're with someone who is not initiated, you still don't get affected. As long as you do the regulative principles, okay? So you can, so some people are worried about my husband, by my wife, but he's not a devotee, he's not. The Prabhupada says, your account is your account. The fact that you're married to somebody, or sometimes with an Indian custom, they marry you off to someone, they choose for you, family, and that person is not a devotee, then what happens? So as long as you stay clear of the things that you're not supposed to do, you still can make it back to Godhead. And I have a god brother. His name was Kubera Das, just left the body. His wife was not a devotee. His wife assisted him. He got very weak. In fact, on the job, he got stabbed. In this area, very terrible area. He got stabbed, and after a while, he just lost his ability to speak. He was just basically just mumbling and mumbling, and he still kept his enthusiasm. This guy is, I don't know how he did it. But Radhanath Swami later on said, some sannyasis get to know this when somebody leaves the body, whether they made it back to the spiritual world. I'm putting it out, but this usually they don't tell everybody. Kubera made it back to the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan, but his wife was not a devotee. So see, all of this, Srila Prabhupada has made it possible for all to go. So knowing that there is that kind of break, that we F25% people, even we can go, if we take this seriously, why wouldn't you want to create harmony among yourselves? Why would you want to start aparad when you commit offense? Radharani gets upset with you. She's the mother of devotion. If she gets upset with the devotee that's committed aparad, Krishna is not going to say yes to that person. Krishna doesn't go against Radharani unless he's just playing with her. But in serious matters like that, so it's extremely important not to be offensive. We have to be humble. Trinadapi Sunichena, Taroriba Sahishtuna, Taroriba Sahishtuna is what it is, right? Humble like a blade of grass, tolerant like a tree. And this is the same thing that Krishna is listing here, humility and tolerance. Tolerance means a lot of people are going to be against us because one, they're not God conscious, or two, they are God conscious in their own way, in their religion, but they don't understand us. what we're doing is weird to them. My own sister is one of them, by the way. They don't understand us, right? And so we have to put up with a lot, because we can't make life difficult for them just because they don't understand us. We have to obviously put a little distance because they're going to disturb our devotion, but we should never think negatively of them because they don't understand why we're doing it. And in time, Krishna will show them, or Jesus will show them. At some point, they will know. It's extremely important to be humble. Srila Prabhupada defines humility as one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. We clamor for recognition. Some people donate money to a university, to the gym, and their name should be on the gym so that everybody knows that I'm the one that contributed the money for the gym, and so on, right? I don't want to really go into politics, but I'll just say one thing. The current president we have now, what things did his name not get put on that he built? If he built it, it was there. If the tower is a Trump Tower. If this is everything, this sort of thing, they want a pat on their back. But he's obviously not a devotee, so I'm not here to kick him. But that sort of thing. So we shouldn't be busy trying to have our names, talked about. So actually, when I was being introduced, I was kind of embarrassed. Well, it's okay, it's all right. Well, it's true. So, but I really wasn't comfortable. I was just quiet. All right, when is he going to finish? So these things. So we shouldn't clamor for that. Now, humility. We got only 20 minutes. We can't talk so much about it, but there's so much to humility. Sometimes, one more thing about humility. Sometimes when we're serving, we go through inconvenience. They're trying to do something and then it's not working well. In fact, there's one lecture I saw in the video, Radhanath Swami in Chowpatty. Finished the lecture and they came to questions section, and this Mataji lifted up his hands. Okay, ask question. And he said, I've been a devotee for quite a while, and I know that you're supposed to feel happy, ecstatic at some point. And I'm not feeling that way. I'm not feeling that way. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So, few times that Radha Maharaj has done this, but he answered the question with a question. He asked her, well, how long have you been a devotee, initiated devotee? She said, 15 years. And Maharaj says, keep going. In other words, don't worry. Krishna knows your heart. He knows your heart. So if you're serving sincerely, obviously he knows that Paramatma is sitting in your heart. So it doesn't miss anything. So if you put your heart into everything that you do and do not offend devotees, you're doing well. It's aparad that stops everything. Mad elephant disease. Aparad that stops everything. Just make sure. So what's aparad? Don't do anything to make another devotee uncomfortable. Rule of thumb. That's it. Don't do anything to make another devotee uncomfortable. In other words, if you need to say something, find nice, mild words to use. I'll just give one example and then we'll stop. So I heard this from Balabhadra Prabhu. I just was sitting very close to him when he was talking to my god brother who deals with cows. Balabhadra Prabhu was his cow protection. And so he was new to this. He come from Washington, D.C., a city guy, and now he's in Gideonagari taking care of cows. So then Balabhadra wanted to help him. So a few things he came and noticed, and then he was telling him the things that he needs to change. Now I happened to be sitting right next to them, so I could hear. Okay, this is how I heard. So Balabhadra Prabhu says, if you do this, that means stating the things that were not good. If you do this, do this, do this. He never said that's bad. He said, then there is concern. If you do this, and there is concern. So he changed the word bad to concern. A concern is a mild word. He's still making his point. But he's not jabbing at my god brother. He's not. Yeah, that sort of thing. You know, if you practice and you pray about it, Krishna will give you so many words. So like that, little by little, especially being careful not to offend, we will in fact create harmony among ourselves. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, is there a couple minutes for questions? Questions?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Are there any questions? Yeah.
What if some neophyte person, or not mature person, keep on committing offenses towards devotees, and he had got very intimate authority, who is very learned scholar, but he doesn't improve, he doesn't guide them, he doesn't teach them what is the sequence of committing offenses. What about that? I mean.
So the question was, here's a new person, come to Krishna consciousness, and knowingly or unknowingly, that person is committing offenses. He also knows somebody who is
very intimate to him.
Very close, they're close.
And very learned, very scholarly.
And this person is very learned, but this person is not helping this devotee out. What to do? Well, obviously you're not that scholar, right? Not that person, you're not. Okay, I know that. But so I'm saying that to get to a point. You can help that particular devotee yourself. The fact that he's intimate with someone and that person is not helping does not mean that someone else couldn't help. Now I know you're ready to add more to it. It looks like you're ready to add more to it. But that's one way. Another one is there are people in authority. There are devotees who are also senior. So when somebody comes new like that, there may be some people that he respects. This person, they're intimate, right? Other persons that he respects. You may go see that person. If you don't want to talk to him directly, talk to this particular bhakta or bhakti directly, you can see someone who has a nice way of saying things, explain this person's behavior to him, and see what they can do to help. Okay, so that's one way. Now, if that doesn't work, sometimes we forget how powerful prayer is. It's one of the 9 processes, vandana. Vandana. When most of us who were Christians and so on, we used to pray for a shopping list to do this, do this, Krishna, I want, no, God, I want Jesus, I want this, I want that, I want to do so for myself and my family, and my this, give me a good job, on and on and on. We know how to pray like that. But this is prayer to improve a person's devotion. Extremely important that you go. Now, praying, we made actual suggestions, but the particular situation is a situation that Krishna can help, because there's nothing that Krishna can't do. So if you pray, and particularly when it comes to praying, you can pray to Srila Prabhupada. If you're initiated, your guru, because that's the chain of command, by the way, right? You start with your guru and then Srila Prabhupada and so on. So if you're not a Prabhupada disciple, pray to your guru. If you're not initiated, go to Srila Prabhupada, because he's the Jagat Guru. Now, and this has been drummed into me that when it comes, because some people want to pray to Krishna, because after all, he's the topmost, right? Okay, if you feel you need to pray to Krishna for this, then pray to the most munificent form, most merciful form of Krishna. Krishna as a devotee. Who is that? Lord Gauranga. He is a devotee. He deals with devotee affairs. So you go to Lord Gauranga or Lord Nityananda. You pray to them. So I will end with this, unless somebody has another question. We were supposed to ask, we in Girinagri at that time. His Holiness Maha Swami was having a retreat. And part of the retreat, everybody was asked to, if you wanted to, write a question, a piece of paper, and then we hand to Maharaj, and he would just pick some up and answer. Now he happened to take a sheet of paper that I wrote on. Now nobody knows, it's all anonymous, but I knew. At that time I was going through a lot of changes. So my question was, so we're trying to serve Radha Krishna, Radha Damodar in this case in Girinagri. Why is it that we're having so much of a hard time? It's a 2-part question. And the other part was, Lord Brahma, the Lord Brahma, we are Brahma Goda Sampadaya. Lord Brahma has committed some serious offenses. Some of them even bordering on incest, going after his own daughter. So if he that elevated will commit that kind of sin, what hope is there for folks like us? That's the question I asked one pastor. Oh, I'm looking at his face. He looked like a little disgusted, you know. Not because of the nature of the question itself, but it was a very easy answer that I could tell. I could read him. I said, maybe this devotee should know all this time. So anyway, he decided to answer it. Your answer is, whoever you are, Lord Gauranga and Lord Nityananda. They are the ones that protect us. Regardless of what Lord Brahma did in the past, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. You don't have to compare yourself and say, he's done this kind of sin, therefore we don't have any hope. No. So you appeal to Lord Gauranga and Lord Nityananda. But the chain of command is your spiritual master, then Srila Prabhupada, like that. And if you really want to go to Krishna, then you go to Lord Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada ki. Yeah. Okay, I kind of stopped it, but is there any other question before we end? Oh, okay, two. All right, okay. Mataji?
Just, I think when you were saying those qualities that we should be, I think when you say that, I look at it as a quality that I need to develop, not looking at her and say she needs to develop.
Very important point.
Humility is me. So if there is a conflict, a difficulty, a troublesome situation, where is my humility, my tolerance, my patience? What more can I do? I think dharma is always, duty is always from my side. I don't come to you and say your duty as sitting on that chair on the Vyasas and giving a lecture is that. You are telling me you develop this. So I feel if we did that, that might also help.
Very much so.
Conflict situation.
Very much so. You've said something that Bhakti Maharaj said in a different way. So I want to say how he said, right? When there's a conflict, and usually that happens, I didn't say even if, because everybody kind of goes through it. When there's a conflict between you and another person, see it or start with the thought that it's my fault first. It's my fault. And then go from there. In other words, put the false ego in check right away. Say it's my fault. What could I have done differently? So the whole idea is there will be some disagreement. So Papa said that's normal. There'll be some disagreement. Spiritual world, there is disagreement, but they don't fight though. So I don't know how they do it. The whole point about it is the discussion with the disagreement can happen between the person A and person B, but it's very important that whichever person letter you are, say to your A, you have to deal with that particular disagreement such that by the time you finish talking to the other person, that person is still your friend. If you think about it, he's still your friend. You don't hit the person so hard that you burn the bridge between them and you. Because if you burn the bridge between, hope you understand, right? Now you don't talk to each other and you avoid each other. You lose. If you burn the bridge, you lose. Why? Well, you know the time is going to come for everybody to leave the body, right? We're going to leave the body. Nobody just escapes that. So when the time comes and the senses are shutting down, when you die and the senses are shutting down, the last sense to shut down is the sense of hearing. This is why when somebody goes to sleep and you try to wake them up with the different senses, it doesn't work. Like if you take a paper with his name on it and put it in front of him, he's not going to wake up because he can't see. But if you call his name, he's going to hear, right? So the sense of hearing still works. So when a person is dying, they can't chant Hare Krishna then. You can't talk. Only the hearing is there. So the devotees, when they hear, they come to hear what's going on. They will stop what they're doing and come to where the person is dying and chant Hare Krishna so that they can hear that sense that's left. They can hear and remember Krishna. And Krishna says, when you remember him, you go to him. Now, if you burn the bridge to somebody, you think that person is going to come help you out? That's how you lose. Everyone that you cut off with They're not going to, they might hear you're dying. They say, "Oh, yeah, he's dying. Oh, God bless him. I'm not going there. I've got other things to do." So if you maintain a good relationship, you'll get far many more devotees coming to help you with a good transition. But if you cut them off, you lose, because they won't come. End the case. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Prabhu, okay, in this situation, suppose if I am dying, am I not forgiven, or as a Vaishnava, it's our duty to go far beyond and go and help that person. That's what you are supposed to do.
Yeah.
You forget about everything. That's a Atma.
That's nice.
Paramatma is there. You must go there, regardless of what it is. That's all frivolous.
That's wonderful.
Go there and just go do what you have to do as a Vaishnava.
Despite the fact that you had a situation with him earlier, you should go there and help. Wonderful advice. The reality is, how many people do that?
You have to start doing it.
Well,
One person starts.
I understand you, but compare the situation though. The two situations. You're saying that if the person does something you didn't like, and now they're leaving their bodies, that you should go help them anyway. But if the person did not get you through that trouble, wouldn't it be easier to go anyway? Yeah, so that's like, you just don't burn bridges, period. You just don't. It's easier to get people, okay? All right, so.
She's telling that even though he burned the bridges, still she can go.
Yeah, that's out of kind. That's compassion you're talking about. That's compassion. That's compassion. Yeah, it takes a while. It's good now. I'm not fighting you on that, because Prabhu has allowed me to stay here tonight, so I'm not even going anywhere. So,
so please feel free to stay and talk to Prabhu.
Shiva Prabhupada ki, Vaishnav Thakur ki, Isai Guru Premanande. Thank you for tolerating me.
Let's give a big round of applause.
Krishna's mercy. This is all the mercy of Guru and Guranga. All the mercy of Guru and Guranga. Hare Krishna.
Let's go upstairs, do Arati, and come back down for Prasad.